attractive to a lot of people.
It's a sunny morning.
You see, people, don't forget, he's a guy as well. So when, for instance, Bono's talking to me about Nelson Mandela, he's just going, man, he's really tall. You know, he's not saying, I met the father of African freedom. Yeah, like.
He's lost it all.
He just is a crusader, he's a zealot, he believes it all and he goes for it. And it's so easy for rock and roll people to slag it. And we do, and people do, oh God, Bono's off again, this crusade. But not to admire it is actually quite sinful. You have to, it's amazing what he does.
And so I think Bono being committed to that hard-edge campaigning, which is about telling politicians, you need to care as much as I care about this issue, that's what's made the difference.
I don't know how he even gets the access. I don't know how he gets there. And there's enough people who say afterwards, that guy really does know what he's talking about because he's done his homework. And he said to me in interviews that, like, you know, you really do, you have to. When you're talking to your man Greenspan in America, who's the Mr. Money Man and all the rest, you really have to know your stuff, you know? You really do.
Clearly, some people will think that he's very pretentious for doing that, but not enough people are saying the things that he's saying, and we should be glad that somebody like Bono is prepared to stand up and say them.
Tony Blair is, to me, a great politician. He is sincere in his convictions about Iraq. In my opinion, he is sincerely wrong.
U2 are almost unique in the music industry, with each member having an equal share in the band's profits. They make music together, not one member is above another. But the question must be asked, how important is Bono to the band?
He's absolutely central. They've always projected themselves as 4 equal members of a band, and you know that's the way they position themselves.
I believe Bono's contribution to the band's dynamic is all essential.
And the singers in all bands are always the focal point. Sometimes there's a lead guitar player who's the focal point as well, and the Edge is that.
The eyes are very much focused on him when they're performing live, and he seems to be pivotal to what they do.
You know, you grow up with this thing of the 4 people are U2. They didn't put any ads in Melody Maker saying bassist wanted or guitarist needed or whatever. They grew up together and they formed together and they stuck together, and they continue to live in Ireland, which is kind of phenomenal in many ways, you know, if you think about it.
All 4 play their part. It's all equally important. Without one individual member, they wouldn't be the band that they are. And I feel that Bono's presence puts them to the forefront, but it's the others that help them stay there.
I've never, I don't think, come across any stories about one of them wanting to do a solo, as you do in most bands.
I think that's one of the reasons why they've survived for so many years, because there hasn't been any splits in the band. They've always stayed constant.
You could take you could take him away from the band and you wouldn't have U2, clearly. More than anyone else, they've said, you know, we're 4 equal members of this band. This is the band that produces it, and everything we do will always be as the band.
One of the most remarkable things about U2 is that you've got 4 very different individuals who have effectively been involved in what is a marriage over a period now of 25 years.
What's in U2's lyrics that have always been, you know, one of the key factors as to why they've been so popular and they mean so much.
You know, you could say, oh, the Edge's guitar, nobody plays angular slices of, oh, shut up. Or Bono can jump with a white flag when he's in his 20s and now he can be cool doing this in front of George Bush. Or I have no idea. I mean, I just don't know. Adam can stand there saying, God, I'm the luckiest man in the world, or whatever. And, you know, what do you call him? Larry can go there saying, look, we still look as though we're in our 20s, because I certainly do compared to the other 3. So I have no idea.
Bono has been a rock singer for over 25 years and incredibly is still on top of his game. However, everyone is very aware of the changing Irish music scene.
And we know how great the Frames are, Ash, the Revs, JJ72. I know how great they are. because for the first time, I'm starting to feel a little nervous as the names go by. So here's to Irish rock and roll. Thank you.
Bono still lives in Dublin, in the exclusive suburb of Killiney. Bono married his childhood sweetheart, Alison Stewart, in 1982. They now have 4 children, 2 daughters and 2 sons. Bono will always be remembered as much more than just a musician.
Definitely there are more than one Bonos out there, as I said. He definitely is a 26-hour-a-day kind of person, and he is very much, on another level, just a normal Northside Dublin kid, and that's what he was.
So, I mean, he lives in an unreal world, but he works very hard to be a father and a husband and to try and maintain normality. But it's quite hard to do that when you're Bono, because you're always going to be Bono, and everybody is going to want a bit of Bono. And everybody, whether it's even a family barbecue, when Bono speaks, they want Bono to say something significant. Everybody wants to go away with the Bono story. Bono said this to me, Bono did that.
I think Bono will be remembered as easily Ireland's biggest rock star.
And, you know, a lot of the time, Bono just wants to have a whiskey and have a laugh. And that's quite difficult for him. And I think that's why he's kept his school friends so close to his chest, is because they don't expect Bono to say very wise or brilliant things. They're quite happy if Bono gets pissed and falls off the couch.
Maybe what's so special about Bono is the fact that there's nothing specifically all that special. He's simply been given the chance to do this, what he does, to make music, given the chance, therefore, with all his money, to be as humanitarian as somebody in his position can be, and he's grabbed both chances completely and absolutely by the short and curlies, and he's going with it completely. The band is still alive, they're going to do huge American tours, they're going to be on an 11th album, studio album with 25 years into their career, and he's going to go off and save the world as well, because he can.
He will be remembered as one of rock's greatest frontmen, and who has done as much as anybody to expand the potential of rock music.
Would all of the things that supposedly have happened that are good in terms of youth culture or in terms of art or whatever since Ulysses, would all of these things have happened with the reflection on the younger people of Ireland without U2? I have no idea, but what will U2 be remembered for? For being the start of all that, absolutely.
How will Bono be remembered? It's a very interesting question. How will Bono be remembered? The guy with the funny name.
He has ridden his fame to the point where he's been able to branch out from U2 into his own pet projects. But his constant devotion to U2 can never be doubted. They remain one of the top bands in the world, if not the top band.
Hello, what separates a good song from a great song?
Great singer.
Jimmy was a friend, just so